Hello everybody, in today's training we're going to be doing navigating Blackboard in an online setting utilizing high impact practices. So what are high impact practices? They promote student engagement and deep learning in the context of a coherent, academically challenging curriculum. They heighten student achievement in meeting essential or academic professional outcomes, and they increase student retention and persistence to graduation. In today's training, I'm going to give you 4 examples of a high-impact practice strategy that's implemented in Blackboard. So I'm going to break down what that strategy is and then what does it look like on Blackboard, how do I do it, how do I create it. And we're only going to be using the W in Wicker, which stands for writing, and the C in Wicker, which stands for collaboration. And again, Wicker stands for writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. I'll skip a little bit so you just get the meat and potatoes of this presentation. Again, if you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see the entire video.
Hello everyone.
And that way you can get a better idea of the full scope. But since this is just a very specific training, I'm going to go ahead and give the assumption that you know how to log in and go to your class and things like that.
Make it user-friendly, the more your students will be engaged in your online classroom. We're just taking a look what it looks like. Now, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to incorporate the quick write. In a traditional face-to-face, students might be writing on a notepad, and then they might get up, go talk to someone else, share their responses, or maybe they don't. Maybe they write it in their journal, save it, and then turn it in to you to read, or maybe they just reflect on it and then continue on with the course. So today I'm going to utilize the journals option. As you can see, I have journals here that I've already created for my students. When you create a journal entry for your students, you are the only one in the class that can see it. So as opposed to a discussion board where students can interact with each other's responses, in a journal entry, this is specifically for your students to say something in private, but then you are able to read it and give them credit, reflect upon that, give them feedback. So today I'm going to put in for my journal information, let's just say reflection on the semester. Okay, and specifically I'm going to write just the prompt of what is the most important lesson that you have learned so far this semester. And then I'm going to put specifics on what I want. In 250 words or less, reflect back on your semester. Now, obviously, if I wanted to be content specific, I would be. But just for our general purposes today, just to see how you can create it, this is simple as this. So I'm going to make the journal available. You could also make it a limited availability. So let's just say I only wanted to open up this journal for 30 minutes. I know that seems like a short time, but if you're really wanting students to get engaged, do that quick reflection and then take it off. You can make it as specific as you wanted. If you wanted it days, so let's just say I just wanted it a day, right? I'm going to open it today, leave it tomorrow at the end of the day, and then I'll grade it. Okay? Do I want students to edit and delete their entries? Okay, well maybe somebody made a mistake, right? And they're like, you know what, I really want to take that off. Then of course I would allow. Okay? And these are just specific settings that you could use as well. Now, you could do no grading. I'm going to put a grade. That's always an incentive for students. Just say I'm going to give them 50 points for this, right? The due date. I'm going to say the due date, since I put it above, is tomorrow at the end of the day. Now, what's really cool is here in your date times, you can go end of day or midnight. I'm going to hit end of day. It's 11:59 p.m. You could also add a rubric. Create a new rubric, create from existing rubric. I'm just going to let them be free with it, because I really just want this to be a quick rate reflection. And then I hit submit. Now, it's going to load up, and see right here, reflection on the semester. It's private, right? So only I can see it. Tells me when I modified it, and then it also shows when I have entries. Just like in my previous videos, when you set up an assignment in your class, you will get prompted in the needs grading section. So Grade Center needs grading. I don't have any here because we just graded this, and this is from a class from last semester, but they would be right here, the students' assignments, and you can just grade them from there. Pretty easy, right? Thanks so much for tuning in, guys.
Okay. The next example I'm going to show for writing is focused note-taking. I think a lot of people get a little nervous, students especially, when they're asked to take notes, because many of them are like, I don't even, what am I supposed to take notes on? How do I decipher? And then what am I going to do at the end of it when the notes are, when I have the notes? I think it's very important to kind of guide them along. And I know if you're like, man, these students are junior, senior in college, or maybe even master's level, that doesn't mean that they have acquired all the knowledge and the appropriate methods of note-taking.
There are two key functions of focused note-taking. The first is recording, in which students record the information so they can use it for later use, and reflection, where students go back, look, make judgments, resolve issues, and make decisions based on the notes that they've taken. Focused note-taking includes 5 phases. They are taking notes, processing notes, connecting thinking, summarizing and reflecting on learning, and applying learning. First thing they should do is draw a vertical line down the page, leaving a column on the left that spans approximately 1/3 of the width of the paper. Students should also leave 3 to 4 lines at the bottom of the page for a summary. The next thing they do is take notes. You should inform your students that they will take notes in the right-hand corner. Once students begin to take notes, they're going to process them. Inform your students that during the note processing stage, they should correct, revise, and complete their notes as needed. After students have written their notes, encourage them to review and revise them, ideally within 24 hours. Students will then connect their thinking. In this phase of the note-taking process, inquiry becomes the focus for the learner. Students are encouraged to ask questions in order to link their thinking to prior knowledge, making thoughtful connections to the information and how it relates and applies to the world beyond academia. Summarizing and reflecting on learning. After students have processed their notes, instruct them to create a summary of their notes at the bottom of the page. The summary pulls together the most important aspects of their notes, capturing the meaning of the significance of the information. It reviews, summarizes, and synthesizes the main ideas into a concise few sentences. Additionally, ask students to reflect on the process of note-taking and their experience, thus empowering them to self-regulate during future note-taking. Guide students to think about these questions. How did you take notes in class? Why did you take notes this way? Are you satisfied with your notes? Why or why not? And what would you change about your note-taking process? It must be notated that while you may not directly speak to them about this process, recording and uploading information about how to utilize this note-taking process is very beneficial for your students. When you log in to Blackboard, I'm going to show you how easy it is to create content. So I click on JNet. Now students will apply the knowledge into my Blackboard account. Again, it was prompting me to see if I got the two-step process in to log in, but my computer's recognized, so I don't have to worry about that. I go straight into Blackboard. Now, if you'll recall from my last video, I am not currently teaching this semester. So as soon as I get into Blackboard, I'll show you what it will look like based on my classes last semester. So I click on my courses. Here's what I currently have. But I go back to last semester, and you'll see I taught 3 different classes. I'm going to use my UNIV course as an example. When you log into your Blackboard account and click on a specific class, you'll notice on the left-hand side all these tabs. And I know this can be overwhelming, but you'll see how throughout these videos that it gets easier and easier as time goes on. For this lesson, I'm going to show you how to add content. So I click on content. This is where I can input notes, PowerPoints. You can even put an audio on here, a video. So if you're at home and you want to take a video of yourself with the lecture or just some key notes or some instructions for students, that's most certainly a good tool to use. So I'm going to add in a file, okay? And I'm going to act like I'm adding in stress management, okay? Then I'm going to browse my computer. I'm going to find my UNIV. And I'm just going to, let me go back to find my 1201. Like you, sometimes I have to dig for my information over here. Okay, UNIV Spring. Now, although I am doing stress management, I'm just showing you how you can upload a folder here. I have it open in a new window for students, which I will whenever they click on it. It'll open up in a new window so they can download it. I'm already going to let them view it. I can track the number of views on here, so if I was like, man, how many of my students are actually viewing this? I can do that. Or if you would like a specific date and time, you can then click, okay, you know what, I only want it to be available today. I'm going to open it today, but I'm only going to display it until, April 30th at the end of the day. So I can create that. I hit submit. And there's my assignment or my course content that you can then link to an assignment. So for example, I'm going to add an assessment to this. Click on that. I want to do a test. Okay? I'm like, all right, you know what? Based on that information that I've created, I'm going to create a test. So I could put stress management test. here's where it really gets cool. You can create your own questions. So here's all the different calculated formula, calculated numeric, an essay, file response, fill in multiple blanks, fill in the blank, matching, multiple answer, multiple choice, opinion scale. So I'm going to do multiple choice. Okay? You put in your question title, what are ways you can help reduce stress? And then down, the same thing. What are ways in which you can help stress? Choose the best answer. Okay. Answering numbering. So I might, A, B, C, like what is it? A, get more sleep. And I'm just going to put something simple here just for an example. Better sleep. And then as, the wrong answer, partying, eating bad food, not checking their emails for school, or doing homework. That certainly should stress them out, right? And then if I wanted to say correct response, I'm going to submit. Okay. And that's my answer. Okay. If I showed it. You could put all your 20 questions on here. You can also select how many points this is worth. So I'm saying 5 points. It's worth 5 points. Gotta select the box. And there you go. That's one question. Now, of course, I'd want to add questions, right? And you can add those. So to make up your test. The great thing about this is that it auto grades for you. So you can submit your test, submit the points, submit the time that it's supposed to go, and then it grades it for you. So I hope this has helped. Students can use their notes to help them with this, or if you prefer another method, that's fine as well. But you can see by utilizing focus note taking, getting students more involved, having them answer those questions will help them with a time test or any type of assessment that you have. Again, this is just one way, and I hope this helps.
Okay, the third example I'm going to show you today is from the C in Wicker, and that's collaboration.
Disconnected, that you're not talking.
And again, I'm assuming you know how to get into Blackboard in your classroom.
So a great tool is when you come to your home page of your classroom. Look on the left-hand side here. You're going to see the regular things homepage, syllabus, course alerts, course content, quizzes and exams. And you scroll on down. Now you can change the position of all these if you would like to pull the Blackboard Collaborate up here so you can see it. But I go to Course Tools and all these additional tools come out. But for today's video, I'm going to show you about Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. So what we can do is, let's just say that this could be synchronous. You could also video if someone's not on the call or the video chat, and then they can look at it later. But for this example, I'm going to show you how to create a session. Okay, so create a session in Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, you'll just need a webcam. Okay, so I'm going to hit Create Session. And for this title, I'm just going to put Collaborative Lesson. Okay. And then I go ahead and give everyone access. So I'm going to let people participate, the guest role is a participant, right? There's also a link that I can copy if some of the students are like, I don't know where to go in, Blackboard to find this. You say, you know what, let me email the link to you as well. And we can put the start time and then the time it ends. Okay. You could also put no end session or repeat session. So let's just say you said, okay, my class used to meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. We're still going to have class Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m., except it's going to be through Blackboard Collaborate. So you can set it to repeat the session, and then you can allow people to get in as much as, an hour before this session. You could also provide a description here. You could go down here to session settings, default attendee role. You could also change someone to the presenter or the moderator. So someone's giving a presentation, you can assign them that role. You could allow people to download the recording, but as general settings, participants can share their audio, share a video, post chat messages, draw on a whiteboard and files, and allow attendees to join the session using a telephone. Because sometimes, our technology acts up, and so we'll need to find other routes. So, like I said before, you can direct students to log into their Blackboard, go to Blackboard Collaborate Ultra, and then they can click on the session. So just for example today, go back to event details. I'm going to set it for 9 to 10, but I'm going to put no end, right? Because sometimes you just don't know when you're going to be done. And then I'm going to save it. So then I come back to my sessions under Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. Remember, this is all embedded in their Blackboard course as well. Click on the collaborative session. Then right here you see join session. Now I'm going to be the only one that's joining the session right now. But you'll see what it looks like whenever I do pull it up. It does say I'm the only one in the room, but I'll kind of take you a little tour of what's going on in this page. So if you check out the Blackboard Collaborate panel, this is the chat room. So if students have a question or need something, they can put, I have a quick question. And then it's posted to the chat. It says who did it and then what they said. Okay. It'll also show you the attendees that are over here. So let's just say you're in a big classroom and you're not sure who is on the call, and you as an instructor are like, oh my goodness, who's saying what, who's actually on this call. This is an easy way to check roll, okay, to see the attendees. So just a little heads up. Okay, you can start recording, use your phone for audio, report an issue, okay, get some additional information, but you might want to record the session. Like I said, if you're doing a lecture or if it's collaborative in any way, students are asking questions, I would say go ahead and record it. That way that can be a reference for them later. You can record it, you can put it in your course content. Okay, I have several things in my course content, but you could build a under course content, you could let's see, new page, content folder, and you could call it collaborative sessions. So you've created a folder. I'm not going to select the date. I'm just going to go ahead and let it be available. Scroll down here, collaborative sessions. I click on the link. There's nothing here at this time, right? But if I've downloaded my collaborative recording, right, then that's when I downloaded it as a video. You hit video, the name, collaborative session. Okay, you can hit auto start, loop, so the video options. Here's standard options, giving them permission. I go ahead and I might want to track the views. Give them the opportunity to just go ahead and start looking at it. Okay. Browse my computer. I'm just going to upload a video that I know is already here on my computer. And then I'm just going to choose this. Okay, I know that's one of the intros for one of my YouTube videos, but just for an example. Then you hit submit. There it is. Here's my video for my collaborative session. So, and I've enabled statistics tracking. So you can see how you create a collaborative session, synchronous, then you record the session, you can then go back here, create course content, you can create collaborative sessions folder, or however you'd like to organize it. Then you click on collaborative sessions, the way to build content, like we just did, built a video, and there it is. How easy, right? All right, guys, I hope this helps. Thank you.
Okay, the fourth and final example I'm going to show, and really the second example from the C in Wicker collaboration, is think, pair, share.
Hand side, if you scroll down for our think, pair, share today, we're going to utilize the discussion board to showcase how we can use a think, pair, share. When I get to my discussion board, I've already created 5-6 discussion boards already in this section. I'm going to scroll down just to show you what it looks like. But on every one, I do repost the directions up here. Discussion board assignment. You want to make sure when your students are responding, even though it is listed in your syllabus, sometimes when they get online, they too can be confused. So just to be clear, I explain specifically what I want them to do. How much it's worth, how many words. So I scroll down here to week 5. And for each one, I have questions listed. You can either assign small groups in which a larger class, maybe a 30, 40, 50, 60 and up, that might be beneficial to keep a small course, mini groups within that larger group. So for this example, I've listed 3 different questions. Like I said, you can assign the smaller groups 1 question, or you could assign everyone all 3 questions, or you could assign that small group 3 questions. Basically, whatever you think works best. Now, I'm going to show you what it looks like when your students respond to you in Blackboard. Okay. I'm going down here. I can see how many responses have been in each post. Now, I've asked them each student to do an initial post of 250 words at least, and then I've asked a student from the class to go back in and reply to that. Reply to the initial student's post. So in a face-to-face, the student who is posting the original post would be the first person to talk and I think pair share. So students think about what they're going to say. Maybe they jot down some notes. They get up. They're then paired in a classroom setting and each one discusses. This is the online format of it where the student does initially state their views of it. And then there's another student that does respond back. Here you'll see student posting and then the response. If you wanted to take it a step further, you could then have the initial post of the student that initially posted, respond back to the other student that responded to their first post. So you have this initial discussion board post, someone replying to it, and then the initial postee can respond to the person that responded to them. Basically, you're creating an online dialogue. Now, if you're thinking, man, how can I do this? How can I create one? So I'm going back. So if I go back to the discussion board 5, I see all my students. And when you create a discussion board, and I'll show you how to do that right now, you can attach this to your gradebook. So every time a student clicks on this, begins and submits, you are notified that this student responded and has submitted their work. You can also see who hasn't submitted, and you can even go up a notch and see, okay, who hasn't responded to the discussion post. So I'm going to create a form. So if you go to the discussion board, I'm going to create a form. And I'm just going to call it Week 10 Discussion Post. Okay? And then in here, I'm going to put what I want them to do. Now, for our purposes, I'm going to shorten this. I'm going to say, please respond with at least 250 words. And then respond to at least 2 of your other classmates' posts. Okay, so I put in the directions. Now those are pretty vague, but you could leave it just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it available. You could also turn it off and not have it available, and then you could put the specific dates. So let's just say no, I didn't want to have it available. I can click, all right, you know what, I'm going to have it displayed tomorrow. And then I'm only going to keep it open for a week. So I go and I'm like, all right, you know, I'll just keep it on there. They need to, you set the time. This is obviously midnight on Friday, But if I was like, you know what, I'm going to let them have it at 7 a.m. I'm going to let it be available. And then I'm going to give them to the 3rd, April 3rd at 11:59 to submit. Okay? And you can also have this in your syllabus lined out. And once the students see that it's lined out there, the participation rate significantly increases. So we go through here. All right, viewing threads, standard view, no grading in forum. I would like to submit a grade, but I'm not going to submit it here. Well, I will submit it there. Okay, and then I can put the due date. So I would put April 3rd at midnight. Okay, and then I'm going to submit. Well, probably should have put the... So then I can go to my grade panel. I always like to go to full grade. You can also click needs grading, and that's a great tool if you're trying to grade a bunch of things. And then I will go to the end, because that's where the latest post will be. And I can also edit here. So I can edit column information. Okay, now I can put the grade in. I can put the points possible, and then the due date. So previously I didn't put the points possible, but again, grade center name, I'll just put week 10 discussion post. And I'm going to put 50 points. Well, it's got what it's due. Include this column in grade center, yes. Show this column to students, yes. Show statistics after me. I always put no, but you could select that about this statistics, how many of them and what was the average of the class. That might actually help them. I don't normally select that. So I've submitted. I have my grade center up. I'm ready. As soon as a student posts, it will alert me. I can go in directly to the post. So if I go here and it says needs grading, this is one here, but I would have a lot more to grade down here. I just click the user attempt, and I'll just give you an example here. I'll click the user attempt. It'll take me directly to their submission, and then I can grade it from there. So here's the submission. The assignment instructions will be here. You can either click on the image on this one. It was obviously an image to click. I had them go to Javelina Night Out, and they needed some documentation that they completed it. There were two other videos on there, so I'm certain that those were more clear. But you could also bypass that grade as well. If you were like, you know what, I've already seen it, or I know they went there, they showed it to me in class or something like that, you could easily bypass that, and when you go to the grade center, just click over that grade and put in the grade that you want. So even though they've submitted something or they haven't, you can always override the grade. Okay, well, I hope this helps. Thank you.
Okay, those are the 4 examples that I've shown you today. This is our professional development schedule for this semester. So if you'd like to attend any of our sessions, please feel free. They're virtual. I'll be sending out links. They're also posted on the Center for Teaching Effectiveness website, as well as our Texas A&M University Kingsville TAMUC AVID website, and you can just Google that as well. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Here is my YouTube page. If you just Google Dr. Stephanie Bain de los Santos in YouTube as well, you can click on there. I have a lot more videos, a lot more specific instructions, and it goes more in detail.